Hey there, triathlete. You have reached ewjtri, where we make all the training and racing mistakes so you don't have to. This is season 1, off-road triathlon from start to finish, and we are so close as we have reached episode 9. It is race week. It is great to have you here, and if you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button on the bottom of your screen so you make it all the way through race day. So for race week, there's really nothing fancy here, and certainly no place for hard workouts. Race week is a time to top off the system, sharpen the knife, and take it a little bit easier than normal, but you're not taking 4 or 5 days off in a row, especially after you've been training consistently. You're probably gonna feel sluggish if you do that. There may be some individual changes or differences based on where the race is in terms of your travel, but here's some basic principles to follow. Race week, you don't want to do anything really different. From eating, sleeping, training, you're still doing all of those things, but really what we're doing is we're reducing the overall volume and we're still throwing in a little bit of intensity. Keep your daily rituals. You're eating the same time, getting up the same time, going to bed at the same time. Races are either Saturday or Sunday. We're going to use Sunday as an example and just slightly adjust the days if your race is on Saturday. We're going to start with Wednesday out from race week. Wednesday is a great day to take off. This way you know you're getting that rest and not trying to cram it in right before the race starts. And if you don't feel rested after having that day off, you can adjust the schedule. So Wednesday, enjoy it, be with your family, walk a little bit, but for the most part, no formal training. Thursday of race week. This is a day where you're gonna do probably an easy, maybe 3-mile run with some pickups, usually 4 by 30 seconds, race pace a little faster with some recovery in between just to kind of shake out the legs, kind of get used to them going fast, but by no means a difficult workout. The rest of the day, as typical, and maybe that evening, if you're leaving the next day, obviously the race, you got to pack. But if you're not leaving until Saturday, I'd still recommend start packing tonight, because if you find you're missing something or if there's something that's wrong, you have plenty of time still to fix it. Now it's Friday, 48 hours from race time. Still nothing major. You're getting up, you're doing the morning transition for triathletes. Your workout's going to be a swim, anywhere from 400 to 1,000 to 1,500 yards, depending on what your workouts have been. But the key here is a nice, easy swimming, feel the water, and get in a couple of 4 by 50 yards or meters in terms of race pace or a little faster, similar to what you did in the run, just to kind of get the arms moving a little bit faster and primed for the race. Given you are less than 48 hours at this point, you definitely want to make sure you're standing and doing the bracing sequence and walking and doing some dynamic movements more than you typically would. Also, this is a time where you want to be drinking a little bit more. Hopefully you've been hydrating throughout training, but I would carry a water bottle with some electrolytes and drink 1 to 2 full bottles more than you normally would until your pee is clear. At that point, you can go back to normal drinking, but make sure you're well hydrated, but don't overhydrate. Now Saturday, 24 hours before the race. We are so close. Again, more of what you've been doing. Such an important reason to have a ritual, have something that works for you. You get up, you do the morning transition. Then you continue to hydrate with that electrolyte or water beverage. Again, if pee is clear, don't overhydrate, you're good, but we want to make sure you are hydrated. That will depend a little bit on the climate and the weather at your race site. This is the day where you want to stay off your feet most of the day. If you're traveling, this isn't a problem, car or plane, so make sure you're doing the bracing sequence and some dynamic movements if necessary. Otherwise, you're pretty much off your feet. Get to the race site. You want to check out that mountain bike course. Typically, ride real easy, ride 1 lap. If there's 2 laps, just enough so that you know what the course is, you're spinning your legs, and having a knowledge of the course for the next day can really reduce some anxiety. And also, if there's any hazards out there, that you're really aware of them, so you can be careful, or a section where you can drink water, because not every part of the course will you be able to typically drink. With the off-road triathlons, the course is typically marked later in the afternoon the day before. So if you're there early, the course might not be marked, but there's typically maps on the race site, which are, depending on the race, are hard to read or hard to follow, even though they're there. And so when you get to the transition area, maybe you could ask someone if you need to, but if the course is marked, then obviously that makes it much easier. When you're at the transition area, check out the swim start, see where the swim enters into the transition area and where it'll exit, and where the bike will enter and where the run will exit, so you're not sort of confused or worried about that on race day. You'll know exactly what direction you're headed. You know, a lot of triathletes worry about food the last few days before the race, and really there's nothing major to do differently. If you've been eating healthy for the most part and fueling your body with the right nutrients, you're going to be great. You're ready to go as far as from a nutrition standpoint. For dinner the day before, I would recommend perhaps eating a little bit earlier than normal, just so there's plenty of time for the food to digest. Perhaps a little less fiber, maybe avoid anything that's raw vegetables, perhaps, just so you don't have much chance of getting sick. And certainly don't try anything brand new. Like this guy who was at an all-inclusive Mexico resort and had okra soup the night before Ironman, and needless to say, my digestive system had the worst triathlon of its career. So nothing new. If you're not sure if you can handle it, don't do it until after the race. You also don't need to carbo load. Again, you've been eating healthy, your training has been reduced, and so your carbs have really been topped off in terms of storage anyway. So no real reason to carbo load for an off-road triathlon. Okay, you're back to the hotel, you're off your feet, get that final leg shave so you're nice and fast in the water. Yes, guys too. And get ready to head to bed. Just like with food, triathletes often worry about sleep the night before. And it really doesn't matter if you don't sleep that well the night before. I mean, obviously it feels better if you do, but as far as your performance, one bad night's sleep is not going to really hinder your performance. Again, you've been sleeping well all along, you're gonna do fantastic. Some triathletes try things like melatonin or even Benadryl if there's allergies, and it can also help you sleep. These are things that they've tried many times before race night, so I would recommend the same to you if you want to do some research on those things and see if it'd be something you want to do, but certainly never do anything new, including anything before bed prior to the race. Okay, that is it. You are ready to race in the morning. If you found any of this helpful, or if there's things that you'd really recommend to other triathletes the day and the days before the race, please put them in the comments below. It'll really help people watching, and I'd really appreciate it as well. So very excited for you for the race tomorrow, and we'll see you in the morning.